Welcome to another episode of Bible Perplexities. Let's revisit Genesis 1:26. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." Who are the us that God is talking to? There have been many speculations put forth, but the author of Genesis doesn't explain who the us are or how many the us are referring to. It could be 2, 100, or more entities. The author doesn't say. The ambiguous us appears again in Genesis 3:22 as part of the Garden of Eden story. Then the Lord said, "Behold, the man has become like one of us, to know good and evil. And now lest he put out his hand and take also of the tree of life, and eat and live forever." Again, Genesis doesn't identify who or how many the us are referring to. However, if we go back a few verses to Genesis 3:4-5, we get a glimpse of who the us are. "And the serpent said unto the woman, You shall not surely die. For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil." The plain reading of the text indicates that the us are gods, but this still doesn't identify who or how many. Finally, the ambiguous us appears again in Genesis 11:7 in the story of the Tower of Babel. "Come, let us go down, and therefore confuse their language, that they may not understand one another's speech." Again, the author of Genesis does not specifically identify who the us are or how many us are being referred to. These passages in Genesis are the only times that God is recorded using the ambiguous "let us." From what Genesis actually says, we can only conclude that God is talking to other gods that are not named or numbered. Thanks for listening.